Today I fucked up by tripping balls while on LSD at Christmas dinner. Wow, what a day it's been, folks. To premise, I'd like to clarify that I'm pretty experienced psychedelic user and know what to expect on a trip, but nonetheless fucked up here pretty bad. So Christmas morning starts about 10 AM for my family, since we all like to stay up late partying on Christmas Eve and then sleep in the next morning. About 10:30 AM comes around and we are sharing presents and everything and talking. We eventually end up going back to my room for a bit to chill and put stuff away while my mom and sister bake some cookies. I'm in a pretty great mood, and decide I'm going to take some LSD I've had for a bit, usually microdose about 3 to 4 times a week. I planned to get cozy and draw a bunch with a new sketchpad and drawing kit I got while eating a bunch of fruit and just vibing. Honestly, I take a little less than a full tab because I wanted to have a blast but still be able to function. These were from a different batch however, and not the kind I use for microdosing, so I had no idea what they were dose-wise. Well, let me tell you something, they were dosed strong. I'm talking at least 200 micrograms per tab. They were gel dabs. It was the strongest acid I've ever had in my life. So I dropped right about 3 PM and spent about an hour getting cozy and everything ready, not expecting much TBH, and not knowing what I was in for. So about an hour and a half after I took some, I start feeling it hit me really intensely and know that what I took was a lot more than I bargained for. Realizing that I'm soon to be tripping balls, I try to find some things to distract myself and basically lock myself in my room, claiming that I'm not feeling good. Mind you, my parents aren't the type to just let that slide, and they wanted me out there participating in family activities. After some brief interactions with my family, and staring at the floor for way too long, I realized that I need to get in my room as the peak is about to hit soon and they will clearly be able to tell that I'm tripping balls. Probably wouldn't have realized now that I look back on it, but oh well. It's about 5:30 PM now and I'm just vibing to music in my room having a good time, but then I hear that dreadful call. Insert my name, dinner time, exclamation mark. I heard that and thought I'm done for. My walls are literally moving and I'm laughing my balls off at how stupid my feet look. Not exactly the right mindset for a family dinner. So I make my way down to the table where my parents and older sister are sitting, passing food around the table, and slowly make my way to my seat. Before I get there however, my dad stares me right in my eyes and says, insert name, why are you hiding in your room so much? I made eye contact with him and let me tell you my pupils are absolutely huge right now, basically taking up my whole eye, but thankfully he doesn't notice. I stuttered something along the lines of not feeling the greatest, must have been the seafood last night. He shrugs and continues passing the food. Everything on the table looked very saturated and all sorts of colors were popping right out at me, and their faces started radiating colors in a way and it was hard to look at them without staring and getting too deep. Not to mention they are arguing about politics, as always, so it's really killing my vibe and getting me into a bad trip setting. They are trying to make conversation with me, and I am trying so hard to act as normal as possible, but it's basically impossible. I made it about 5 minutes before I said that I'm not hungry and that I need to use the bathroom. So I sat in the bathroom for about a half hour where I endured the most intense part of my trip, and came out a new man. I walked up the counter and took some ibuprofen to act like I was sick and stuff, then just hid in my room for the rest of the night. Here I am, on the come down, typing this out for you all. Smile. Merry Christmas! Exclamation mark. Too long didn't read. Took some LSD right around lunchtime because I was feeling great, ended up being way more intense than expected, and had to try and hold my shit together at Christmas dinner while tripping balls. I don't know how strong these tabs are, but let's just pop one before, insert random responsibility / I'm sure it'll be awesome, every acid fuck up ever. Note that I'm a pretty goofy person overall, so I think that helped me mask everything as being my usual self, but a little sick lol. Hats off to you, man, holding it down on the peak is no easy business. Also, I've heard that a dose of a benzo kills a trip pretty quick, might be worth looking into if you're doing it with frequency. So I take it your folks don't know you take LSD. Haha, nope, they are pretty anti-drug to tongue. Dude, you need to share that good stuff. Haha. I can't imagine tripping at home with my parents there. Just the thought of them being so close to me would propel me into a bad trip. I am one of those that need everything perfect and in my control, or I'm on the edge of insanity, lol. I haven't tripped in 20 years, but I remember those good times fondly. Today I fucked up by letting my mom borrow my phone without checking my browser first. This just happened a couple hours ago and I will never live this down again, I hope. I, 31M, was watching TV with my mom, 53F, and when commercial hits, I proceed to browse with my phone, mainly reading manga from manganilo.com. For every avid manga online readers, you all know that explicit pop-ups of anime or sometimes real girls with giant breasts or wet vagina that appears on the top of the page, the middle section, and the bottom page. For those who aren't familiar, don't click on it, it's a virus that can destroy your phone or steal your identity. This detail will be important later. Anyway, as I read through, I got thirsty, that's what she said, so I put my phone down while in tab switch mode, with one of those vulgar pop-ups appearing on my manga tab, and got a drink. My mom phone suddenly went out of battery and asked if she can use mine to browse real quick. Knowing how she's technologically challenged, I think nothing of it and let her. I even gave her the password, and here's the screw up. Remember where I left off with my phone before I put it down to get a drink? That is exactly the first thing my mom sees right when she opened up my phone, in all its glory, pop-ups of Tsunade's giant bear, extremely wet left side bosom, were jiggling like crazy, enough to make my mom scream in disgust. I heard the scream but think nothing of it, finish my drink, then went back to the couch, only to find my mom sulking, and under her breath, "Let's out, I've taught you better than this" sentence. Still don't know what's going on, until I opened my phone, and the first thing I see is Tsunade's giant bear, extremely wet left side bosom, were jiggling like crazy. Then it registered to me that my mom thought that I am a disgusting person who just exposed his own mother to the world of hentai. I tried to tell her that it's just a random pop-ups, that it's out of my control, but not only she doesn't understand what pop-ups are, it just makes things worse when I told her it's a virus, making her even more paranoid. She got up angrily, marched towards her bedroom, slams the door, and I'm just left dumbfounded at the couch, by myself, while still staring at Tsunade's giant bear, extremely wet left side bosom, still jiggling like crazy. I unzips pants. Too long didn't read, god I'm used harem no jutsu on my mom. She thought she taught you not to like boobs. That's not it, she raised me as a Christian person, so according to her, I'm not supposed to succumb to worldly temptations, or something like that. I mean, a 31-year-old dude jacking off to cartoon chicks is probably enough reason to upset her. Punchline hits harder than 99% of the content in r/jokes. Well done, good sir. She's probably worried you're not going to find someone 3D and the 2D boobs triggered her. Maybe you can use ad blocker for future. Does it work on phone? I know ad blocker is a godsend for laptop and desktop devices. Today I fucked up by telling my mill she's the reason her son has crippling depression. When I met my husband in our early 20s, he was the love of my life. We quickly eloped and started our life together. He changed a year later right after we got a computer. His self-care became infrequent and he became depressed. He game up to 21 hours a day and stopped working. We went to counseling and he admitted that he'd always neglected his self-care growing up, tried to get out of going to school and doing any kind of work. He said when he wanted to date he changed to be outgoing and it worked. The root of his problems were from being raised by a hoarder, just like the ones on TV, plus too many animals. He has a younger brother who came out of the situation seemingly unharmed. Of anyone I've ever known, him and his wife have the ideal life. He can afford for her to stay home and they raised their 3 boys into great young men who are now in college. They live in a stunning spotless home and are the center of hundreds of people's social circle. Completely involved parents, coaching team, mom, PTA, musicians, travel. Just the best people. My husband hasn't much improved in the last 20 years. He receives treatment, but the only situation it alleviates is his anxiety. It doesn't make him any more productive. His mother is up in age and needing help with shopping, appointments and lifting. Because we live closest, that's been our responsibility for several months. While driving her yesterday, she was venting about how my husband isn't as helpful as she wants him to be. She wants to go out shopping several times a week and he's only helpful with the necessities. Then she made a comment that she thinks one of my nephews is going to turn out just like him because he's been too busy to take her shopping to a 4-hour round trip, without thinking. I responded that's ridiculous because he was raised way better. She got wide-eyed and defended herself, saying that my husband was helpful before he met me, but I know that's a lie. I saw what she raised him in when we met, and no one was doing anything in that house. I tried to backpedal and say I meant my nephew was raised by 2 parents. She then asked me if I had a problem with single mothers. We were silent the rest of the ride, still waiting for the family drama, but maybe she will self-reflect and not tell anyone. Too long didn't read. My husband has severe mental illness from being raised by a hoarder. When my mill mentioned she believes my nephew was going to be just like him, I told her it's not possible because he has good parents. Slightly related. Put boundaries on her demands. Several shopping trips a week isn't reasonable. Schedule a day or block of time instead. The hoarding behavior had its own manipulative traits and you'll bear the brunt if not careful. Even better, your husband can do one scheduled trip a week. That may work well with his depression to have a set and structured event. Good luck. My mother is a hoarder and the guilt and entitlement is strong. Sounds like you know her. We actually have him doing groceries for her once a week, but that's not what she's really after. Every week there are 20+ boxes on her door we have to deal with from online shopping. I don't see why we have to carry, unload, break it down and cram them into her overfull garbage cans. If she can't do all that herself, she doesn't need it. I'm about to try to put a 3-a-week box limit on her because this is BS. Just wanted to let you know that the perfect life may look perfect from the outside, but it's full of cracks, holes that you only see from the inside. Don't be fooled by the front everyone puts on. This would have happened sooner or later. Your mill seems like she doesn't like when people tell her the truth. She definitely sees her life with rose-colored glasses. Happy Cake Day. You should have body slammed her way harder. Fuck that backpedaling nonsense. You're taking your sweet time to help her dumbass out after she's fucked up the half of you that should make her 100%. If she ends up cutting ties with you because she's offended, then I'd take that as a gain. One less freeloader in your life. The brother though? Can't you unite with him to attempt to pick the guy up? What's his secret? Many things were tried, but I believe he's content doing what he wants when he wants. A lot of it is gaming addiction. 1999 the dress thought it wasn't a thing. I heard from his brother that his dad is a big ne'er-do-well also. I was married before to someone who always thought I wasn't good enough and he made me dependent on him so he could abuse me. I left that relationship with a new life plan. To take care of myself and be with someone for how they love/treat me, not what they could do for me. My husband found the right woman. His secret is being extremely intelligent. They both are. I hear my husband has a slightly higher IQ. I guess there's a thin line.